Yeah. Three of you, not me.
Who knew?
Scott and Howard.
Who knew?
Scott, Howard, and Kate.
Jeff was sure he was.
Yeah, I know, so then I just assumed I wasn't.
Yeah, not me.
No, it's a trip.
So it's you and me and Scott.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Welcome to St. Croix Central's, regular Board of Education meeting for Monday, November 20th, 2017. And time is what, 7:01. We'll get started. Roll call. I'll let the roll reflect, Mr. Olson is not with us at this time. All of the members are present. Was the meeting properly notified?
Yes, it was.
Okay, at this time, we have an opportunity for public comment. I don't know, do we have anybody signed up?
No.
Do we have any public comment? Sure. Step forward.
I'm Chad Wolski, lifelong resident of St. Croix County, graduate of St. Croix Central, and went to the listening session. Obviously, that's on the agenda tonight. I'm just want to speak out that I'm against the standard-based assessments and reporting. I haven't found any good research online to show that it would be beneficial to the students. I think it could harm potentially their acceptance into college. Also, scholarships that rely on class ranking, valedictorian, salutatorian items. I haven't found any good information, and we've been doing this for a lot of the younger students for multiple years at this point, and the questions that we have for the high school, they're still unanswered. How they're gonna do GPA, how they're gonna do class ranking, how that's gonna be figured out, how 4 out of the ranking system, if that's used, is gonna be stored. I went around and just to see if it wasn't just for me, spoke to a lot of parents, I spoke to teachers, and I haven't heard any positive feedback from anyone that I've spoke to. And that's where my concern breeds from, is that I haven't heard where all the positive things that are gonna happen once we go this way. So I just wanna point out that I'm opposed to it, and I'd like to see the board sort of table it until all the questions are answered, that all the issues, that there's not gonna be scholarships that are missed, there's not gonna be enrollment at college that's missed because of going to this assessment. I think the school district as a whole has always been great. It's been great academically. That's why I chose to live here and raise my children here, because the school is the whole reason. So I'd like to see it be one of the leaders and continue to be the leaders going forward. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Okay. Is there any other public comment at this time? Okay, hearing none, we will move forward to the next item, which is a highlight on youth, which is our 2017-18 FFA program and activities program presentation by our FFA advisor, Gretchen Rosen. Welcome.
Thank you. Since we missed the last time we were supposed to be here, apologies for that. It gets a little busy sometimes getting some of these guys ready for different things. I'm not gonna spend too much time up here. I think it's important to let some of our officers speak. So I brought 2 of those with me today. But again, thank you for letting us come and share what we're gonna be doing the rest of the year. It'll give a little background on what we've done so far, give you a brief synopsis on how National Convention went for us, and then let you know what else we've got coming down the pipeline. So I'll turn it over to Kelton Roseboom. He is our president this year, and then also with us is John Miles. He's our sentinel.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank you for letting us speak tonight, and thank you for the continuous support that you show the FFA in our program. Topic, successful national convention. The FFA livestock team placed 23rd overall in the country out of 47 teams. Myself, I was the top individual on the team, and I placed 17th overall in the nation. Congratulations on bowl
Good
rating.
job.
Awesome.
And I'll turn it over to John to talk about our football concessions and fall trap team.
Alright, hello, I'm John, I'm the Sentinel for our 2017-2018 FFA chapter, and our football concessions, we added a new item this year, chicken on a stick, and it was one of the most successful new add-ons we've had in the past few years. And then we've also been interested in redesigning the concession stand, and we're hoping to team up with Mr. Wenzel and the Panther Construction to see what cost and ideas would be to make it more productive within the workspace. And then onto our fall trap team. Our team took 4th in the conference this year. We had 15 new shooters on the team, which is a new record. And we had in our conference 3 males in the top 10 and 3 females in the top 10. The males were Brock, myself, and Ethan. And then there was Abby, Marie, and Ashley. And then we had Brock Thorson, took 3rd overall in the conference. And we also will be working with the Greater St. Croix Youth Shooting at Parkside on December 1st for a meat raffle to help pay for cards, which pay for our shooting rounds as we shoot for the season. And which will, in turn, cost less for the members to join the trap team. And then we will also be having a spring kickoff meeting on January 25th at 6 p.m. at the high school. And then I'll turn it back over to Kelton for upcoming highlights.
Some highlights that we plan to do this year would be the world's toughest rodeo in an action city for fun chapter/members outings. We have the career and technical student organizations, FA, FBLA, FCCLA. They'll all be doing a cookie and bread bake in early December. Baked goods will be donated to the needy and taken to nursing homes. We have the district leadership development events such as street speaking, prepared speech, employability skills, and discussion meet. This will be held in Baldwin on the 29th. Top 2 from the district competition will advance to Section 2 competition in Menominee in mid-March. National FFA Week in February and local FFA Week in April will be celebrated with activities in the school. Ag Tech contest on the 24th at UW River Falls. Current members are preparing for several career development events, competitions in hopes of going to state in April. Several members plan to apply for national FFA scholarships. At least 2 members have expressed interest in applying for their state FFA degrees, and state FFA convention and state draft team competition are in both in June. Thank you.
Thank you. How many are in FFA this year, Kelton?
Let's see, 40 to 50-ish.
40 to 50.
Could you elaborate?
Say I'm not secretary, that's
Today.
Kelton, could you elaborate on the world's toughest rodeo? Because right away I think of purchasing more liability insurance. Oh, you're going to watch. Okay, I thought you were. Okay.
Well, the FFA chapter, we're not involved. We're not that good. Draws for 8 seconds, but all it is just one big show on dirt.
You're going to watch. You're not conducting the world's toughest rodeo here. Okay. Good to know.
They can only judge them, they cannot ride them.
Any more questions?
Thanks.
Sounds like a good year. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
No, it sounds like you're pretty active, and congratulate all of you on your successes, and wish you best in the future here.
Thank you, sir.
Look forward to our next report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, at this time, we will move on to our next item, which is the listening session recap on standards-based assessment. And I think we'll just take a 10,000-foot view of what we heard. I know all the board members were there. Comments from the board this time?
I think the walk away at the end at the end of that meeting was people coming up and not understanding that all that the board had done was give them permission to look into and investigate this, and that it wasn't a done deal yet. There were people that were walking out thinking that this was already going ahead full steam. And that was, I think, what we mentioned to quite a few people as they were walking up, that no, it's not done yet. This isn't a for sure thing yet. This is still in the investigating, planning, part. Yeah.
Other board members? Because I would concur with Kirk that, there was the impression that, from a lot of parents, that this was a done deal. As I remember the board, we were giving permission to look into the deal and study it. I don't think that we set a preliminary timeline, to try and implement if it's going to be possible, but that is not a firm timeline. There seemed to be a lot of information on that was given to the pros. I don't think there was a lot of information yet available on the cons. We need to fill those gaps in. I'm not sure if it was as clearly communicated as to why we were doing this. And I think, from my perspective, I think that the reason we are doing this is to drive our student achievement higher from where we are. We have a lot of students, my experience with my kids going through school were that they were challenged by the curriculum, but they were also concerned about their GPA and their class rank, and that held them back from taking some of the more challenging courses that they could have taken, because they were afraid they would lose their GPA, their class rank, and etc. I guess the question is what are we gonna do with, I think the GPA, there will be a GPA in the end. Class rank, I'm not sure if that's still in the best interest of all our students. I think if they perform at an honor level, that they should be recognized at an honor level. One of the arguments that we've always had is weighted grades. And there's been a lot of resistance on the board because who is to say that the importance of somebody that does well academically in a technical education course or a
Science or
science or
language or
anything else. They've all worked hard to achieve the goals that were established in that class, and they should be all equally recognized. So this is in the beginning phase of study. It is not a done deal. We've got some deadlines that we've set for ourselves to achieve the goals, and like most things in life, if you don't set a deadline, you never achieve your goal. So that's where we are right now. And I don't know if any other board members have comments. Tim, you have any comments?
My big, message I want out to the community is, I think there was a disconnect. From the school standpoint, we wanted to go to the community early and get feedback and gather questions, so that we could continue to, like Howard said, study it. I think maybe the community thought that we had it all figured out and we were just rolling out the plan. So I think that's the message I want out to the community, is that we were very intentional with going to the community early and gathering feedback. It by no means had a plan and everything figured out. The board gave us the directive or permission to move forward and study it. And that's why. And we're not going to implement anything that's harmful for kids.
And it's not going to get rolled out until we have all the I's dotted and T's crossed. If we're not ready, then it will not be implemented. So, but we need to weigh the pros and the cons for scientific-based research, the needs of the students, the needs of the staff, and the needs of the community, and all those have to be taken into account before anything would be implemented. So. Any further questions for anybody?
I'd just like to make a comment that I appreciate all the residents, teachers, district residents, everyone who was at that meeting. That's what it was for, to get some input, well attended, thoughtful questions. It kind of helps guide the direction that we wanna go. And to reiterate, we won't do anything that we're not ready to do and that would hurt kids.
I would just really appreciated the attendance, I thought that was great. I have every confidence that the comments were well received and that Tim and his team will take all of those and accommodate the concerns, and so I have every confidence in that regard. There was one comment that was made that particularly struck me, was teachers have been assessing kids forever. So an assessment is not new. I mean, we've been assessing kids and assigning grades, and parents, I would, I had 3 kids that go here. I never knew what grade meant. I didn't know what they were learning, what that grade represented, but now we're concerned that, gee, you mean you're gonna have a standard against which kids can know what the standard is and assess against a known standard? I mean, why should we be fearful of that? And so that I think this is, I've said before, this is, been on the board almost 20 years. This is moving in a direction where every kid will have an individual learning plan of what they can accomplish and where they should be, and based on where they are and where they could be, not just this is the minimum to get a grade. So I thought it was a good evening. I thought we heard lots of things that are important to respond to, and we got to figure out this grade and class rank thing. I mean, we will have grades, we will have class rank, all of those things that kids need to get to college. We're not going to do anything that causes kids to be disadvantaged in higher education. So we'll figure that out, or we won't do it.
Okay. Okay, are there any other comments, board members, Tim, on any other issues?
Do you have are you gonna assemble and condense the comments so that I think it'd be helpful for the board to ultimately see, here were, out of 100 comments that kind of boiled down
Here's
to
the buckets, yep.
15 things, and here's how we addressed each one of those.
Yes, yes, that's on our agenda tomorrow. I think literally there are about 100. There are 4 pages, and you have about 25 per page. So did a great job of capturing every comment and question. But it accomplished exactly what we wanted to get those questions and feedback and know what information we need to present next, or what questions we need answers and research. Turnout was great, accomplished everything we wanted to, and the next step is to condense that and then schedule a second session.
Thanks.
Okay, so as you hear, we're trying to be transparent about this. We're not trying to develop this in a vacuum. The community feedback is vital for the success of this, if it is to move forward. So, okay, so there aren't any other comments from the board at this time. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is a presentation of our SCC Community Ed Report by our Community Ed Director, Paulette Anderson. Welcome, Paulette.
I'll be brief. Quickly on the classes, we have our usual Zoom Learn Get Fit Boot Camp by Market, both library classes and Western Wisconsin Health classes. We did introduce Fab Lab last session, and we're going to continue once a month. Mr. Wenzel teaches it at the high school. We filled the classes each month. The adults love it. Mr. Wenzel loves teaching adults. They are excited, and he doesn't have to grade them. We've added
No assessments? No assessments?
Basic welding, we're adding this session. Rich Cronk, who works in the village, gonna do it out of his home. I have 6 women already signed up for that one.
Oh, awesome.
And we'll continue doing that each session if we do it in advance. We've added a yoga class out at the town hall that I'll be teaching with all the money going to the hand nutrition site. And if you haven't read any paper in the region, you would know this next thing, but we got a grant from Alina Health for $910 for several unicycles. It was in the school newsletter, in the Hammond paper, and Baldwin paper, and Pierce County Herald, and the Rufus Herald, the Hudson paper, and the Newton paper, and Alina Health likes that, so they just sent me an email and said, write another grant, because that's cool. The unicyclers are doing a bit of community outreach. We took two, last Wednesday to the nursing home, and we did juggling, unicycling, and juggling on a unicycle. We are going to have a all-school demo at the elementary school on February 2nd. We're having an all-school demo at the middle school on February 9th for their afternoon session they have. We're gonna do some choreographed things and then all the other great things we do. We've been invited by which used to be BFIT. It's now called Winter Wellness Warriors, done by the hospital. One of their sessions is called Circus Night, so they invite us, we do juggling, unicycling, and we make balloon animals, and I bring a couple carloads of the kids to that. One's in Baldwin and one in Roberts, and then we're of course in Fort Briggs. So that's the big deal. If you haven't read the paper, if you didn't read any paper, I'll leave it up with you. And I still have about 30 to 60, 70 people come every Thursday. They're from 5 to 8:30. It's all ages from 2nd grade to 70. And we're still asking you.
Keep asking.
Well, of course. This is our family took the class. Her kids and her husband all unicycle now. And Mrs. Johnson's husband has asked for a unicycle for Christmas.
Really? Cool, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paulette. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is our financial reports. I'll turn that over with our treasurer's report.
Bank account balances as of October 31st, 2017, citizens checking $1,891,313.81. Citizen money market $96,360.28. Citizens fund 46 $50.48. Citizens money market suicide prevention fund $16,604.06. American Deposit Management Referendum Funds $474,574.68 for total bank account balances $2,478,903.31.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented?
So, second.
Okay, we have a motion Kirk, second John. Approve the treasurer's report as presented. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then the next item on the agenda is our consent agenda, which consists of approval of our meeting minutes for our October 2nd meeting, meeting minutes from our October 16th meeting, meeting minutes from our special meeting on October 30th, a wage and benefit committee meeting minutes from November 6th, our board learning meeting from November 6th, approval of the bi-monthly bills for November, approval of resignations and retirement, which we have none at this time, approval of contracts, appointments and modifications, which consists of Jim Miller as our JV2 boys basketball coach, Ryan Berg from a full-time winter strength and conditioning coach to halftime. Go from full-time to halftime. John Tackman from full-time winter strength and conditioning coach to halftime. Garrett Wenzel, 1 FTE winter strength and conditioning coach. Also, approval of curricular modification request for students to enroll in full-time and part-time virtual courses. This year, we have 1 part-time, no full-time, for a total of 1 part-time student at this time.
Move approval of consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Jeff, second Kirk, approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to the next item, which is our administrative report, starting with our student enrollment update.
I just want to thank all the ladies again for the work in compiling this very comprehensive data. Just want to point out, we are up one student in seats from 1,595 to 1,596 since the beginning of September. We dipped 9 last month and then added 10 this month. For net +1, free and reduced lunch rate, you'll see, is the lowest that I can ever, well, since I've been here, 4+ years at least, maybe all time, at 13.48%, extremely low free and reduced lunch rate. And then just wanted to comment on our virtual schools. SCC virtual, we have 19 full-time, and at the time of this report, it was at 63 in our virtual charter school governance council meeting today. As of today, it's actually 66. And then a net with our open enrollment in versus out, we're netting 70 in, so 170 in versus 100 out. Positive numbers.
Okay. Questions, student enrollment? I guess the question I have on the free and reduced lunch rates, do we have people who are not applying, or the economy's improved enough that we're seeing?
The free and reduced, you can see on that form, the date that they get kind of a grace period going into the school year. And then if they don't reapply, they get kicked off at a certain time, I think it's October 17th. And so it takes a little bit sometimes for them to realize it and then reapply. So we might say go up in November. Okay.
And we have a lag in our state average time. Do we have anything more current than that?
The data, I will go in and look for the
Thanks.
next time.
Okay, are there any other questions for, on the student enrollment? Hearing none then, we will move on to our administrative reports, our fall season activities report by our activities directors, Jason Cooley and Chance Langness. Welcome, gentlemen.
Get more fireworks this year. Alright, thank you, board. I have some numbers here that I'll share with you from our fall activities at the middle school. 62 of our 6th, 7th, 8th graders participated in cross country. We had 54 girls in volleyball, 25 7th graders, and 29 8th graders. We had 44 boys in football, 23 7th graders, and 21 8th graders. Ms. Stofa and Ms. Oakland have ramped up student council. There are 49 currently middle schoolers excuse me, currently involved in student council. And then it's kind of between fall and winter right now, but our middle school play and set crew is preparing to perform next weekend. And Ms. Schmidt has over 105 kiddos between the play and the set crew involved in that. Quick math tells me, I know there's a couple of kids that are overlapped in there, but for the most part, those are individual counts, and there's 314 kids at our middle school involved in some form of activity right now. And that's not even talking, Mr. Newsbaum, I talked about forensics is just getting ramped up. We have our jazz band kiddos in the mornings. So, if I were to go around at lunch and have conversations, almost every single kiddo can have a conversation with me about some form of activity or athletic sport that they're involved with, so.
And two other programs that are new, Mr. Langness, we probably forgot to.
Well, I didn't start at.
Get the numbers of
Lehigh. Well, Mr. Jardine has 58th graders that are mentoring our 5th graders in Link Group. They do that during our wind time, once every other week. We're gonna talk about DI.
Go ahead.
And then Mrs. Bean and Kat have just, today I think was their second date. starting DI up in our fifth grade classroom for the fifth graders who don't really have a lot of opportunities, outside of the play. Student council knows, a good number of fifth graders as well, so.
What's that?
Destination Imagination,
Oh, cool.
so it's a real good extension.
And they have teams, they create teams of, is it step 5?
Right, we're starting small, we're starting with the fifth grade, I think we're, gonna have 2 teams. This being, Cat are gonna run them, they got some parent volunteers, and totally volunteer, and they're going every Monday after school, so.
So that's the middle school world. And I'll tell you, like the FFA said, we couldn't be more appreciative of the support you guys show, just in general, but financially. And as I turn over to Mr. Cooley, there are 500 middle schoolers that are in awe of those high school kiddos and what they're doing, and they're probably Panthers right now. And
Okay, so at this point, we've got, I don't remember how many we have enrolled in middle school now, 490?
489 at the count, I don't know.
And we're well over,
And,
we're well over 300, almost 320 students participating in extracurriculars.
correct, and that's just the fall. The winter will add to it, and we're full steam ahead right now with middle school boys basketball, and then 490, yep.
That's pretty successful, that's 3 out of 4 kids, so.
That's good.
So, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just did some quick math in my head, just as the overall athletic numbers. Total athletic participation for the fall was around 170 students. I think we're at 436. 430.
We'll call it 420.
420 at the high school. Tremendous fall. This has probably been the best fall sports season we've had in school history, by far. Dave Newman has done phenomenal research on some of the statistics regarding how we stand in the state, and how our conference stands in the state. For instance, we talked about our football team has been 44 and now 8 in the last 4 years. 44 and 8. The Middle Border Conference has made it to, and this is specific to football, but has made it to the sectional finals or state football in the last 17 years. So it's been an extremely competitive conference, one of the best D2 conferences in the state, and is now, just now, starting to get recognition from the southern part of the state for athletic accomplishments. I don't know how many times you have to go to state football to get recognition, but our conference has been leading the way in several Division II categories for the last several years. Again, tremendous fall. We started with, let me get to the girls golf. So we had 13 girls go out for girls golf. New head coach Logan Kimberly took over this year for Chance. We had one girl quit. They placed 5th in the Middle Border Conference, but they showed a tremendous amount of growth, and they actually went to team sectionals. It's the first time they went to team sectionals in a couple of years. Chance took them 2 or 3 years ago. Solid young core. I think two of the girls are graduating. The third girl was one of the quitters. So it's bringing back just a huge young core to continue to develop and expand the program. Hopefully gaining more girls as we go. Sticking with the female sports, we had 37 girls go out for volleyball with 4 quitters. And if you didn't get a chance to watch volleyball this year, it was tremendous. Undefeated season. Middle Border Conference champs, made their run all the way to the sectional finals against Merrill. It was a tremendous season with a tremendous group of girls, and again, another strong junior class and a couple graduates, so looking to be extremely competitive again next year as we go. Then we have cross country. We had 29 athletes go off cross country, 10 females, 19 males. And as you know, the females were sectional champions, and the boys took second. They both teams qualified for state competition. And that was the same day as the Merrill volleyball game, so we got a tour of the state that day. And it was frigid. I don't know how they ran in just their shorts and little cross country gear, because I was all bundled up and I was freezing. Our girls took 7th overall, Division II, and the boys took 16th. Huge accomplishment for both of those teams. Then we go to football. Obviously more continued success. Only a 1-loss season, making it all the way to the state football championship again. Only losing overtime. Extremely tough fought game. Boys had just the speeches afterwards were tremendous. We showed a lot of class. They had a lot of fun. To play on that stage 2 years in a row was incredible. It might not seem like it right now for some of those boys, but later on they're going to look back and they're going to say that that was something extremely special. And hopefully we can continue to do that as we move into the future. Continue to stay successful in the middle border and in the state. Cheer has 11 cheerleaders out this year. In dance, their fall participation numbers were 15. They're also looking great. We had a halftime performance at the state football game by the band and dance team again. It's tremendous to watch 80+ band members go out there again and from a different perspective. In my role, to watch them perform was awesome. Mr. Conway was doing a great job. That band played the entire game. The dancers were tremendous. We are extremely successful this fall. As I said in the community send-off for the football team, it doesn't start with one person. It starts with parents. It starts with the community. It starts with our coaching staff, our strength program, and the students and the athletes. They put in a tremendous amount of work over the summer. They bought into the strength program. I think when we started that a couple years ago, we bolstered it, and now we have huge participation through the middle school. It's only going to bode well for us because all we got through the football run were comments about how much stronger we were than the competition. They were making those comments about their own players. So it's a testament to what our athletes, male and female, are doing, and it's showing in our outcomes. So we hope to continue to push that participation in the weight room, and hopefully unveil some new things like a athletic performance team that will compete in athletic performance, not necessarily strength, but increase our athleticism all around, and continue to balance our athletes in a holistic approach. So that's kind of fall sports. Any questions?
I guess I'd have a few comments.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the tremendous fall season. Girls volleyball did fantastic. I know I have a nephew's wife comes down from the Richmond with her freshman daughter competed down here, and she specifically had to come, and then after the JV match have her daughter watch the varsity play because, as she said, they were one of the most skilled teams that she's seen in some years, and that she's hoping that the Richmond volleyball team learns some things. As far as the girls cross country team, fantastic for them to be there 2 years in a row, with B to move up from 14th place to 7th place is a tremendous accomplishment too. The difference between a 7th and a 10th place is just, you're talking seconds.
Yeah.
So, that's a tremendous tribute to how well those girls are working together and how hard they're working. The boys were successful. Football team, I think it goes without saying, I think Osceola is still kind of scratching her head to figure out what went wrong and with Bloomer. Tim Johnson, who's their president, still scratching his head on that one. He was sure that he was going to beat us this year. They felt they were due. So, but it's a tremendous fall season. I am hoping for continued success in the winter their sports. I see the wrestling team has their first wrestling match next week. Tough first one against Ellis. We'll see how that
We're
goes.
trying to move that one. So we're trying to accommodate some of the, the seasons that were extended into the winter seasons.
But they've got-
Right now, we're supporting 2 levels of girls basketball. So we had to cancel the C team season because of injuries and quitters, which is okay. And then we have 4 levels of boys basketball right now, starting varsity JV, C team, and JV2. And then we're not quite sure on wrestling numbers yet, as some of those football players recover from the national football season. One last little statistical thing for you from Mr. Dave Newman. I'll give him all the credit for this research, I'll take it. But we are the only, in each sport, as far as our success, there's only 3 other schools in the state to have this level of success. And all of them are Division I schools, including the school that is the one, I wanna be a Division II Kimberly. So when I look at a model of excellence and what I want to do here athletically, obviously with Chance's support and everybody's support, I wanna turn this into a D2 Kimberly. And I think it's completely achievable. I think we're firing all cylinders as far as excellence, being a model of excellence for others. I don't see why we can't be that. And they're one of the schools, along with us, we're the only Division II school, besides Sun Prairie, Brooklyn Center, and Kimberly, to have the exact same success. Obviously Kimberly took every fall sport to the state, which is not far off for us. But that's my goal, as we continue moving forward. That's my model.
It'd be tough to beat their football record though, they're
It's tough to beat
70-0.
It's tough to beat that record and how many state titles they won in a row, but doesn't mean we can't do it. So, thank you for your time.
Jason, I just wanna, thank you for your leadership. With a lot of success, there also, were a lot of challenges that I know you navigated very well, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board comments?
I'm liking seeing this, I think we're already paying dividends in the investment that we're making with, having the, dean and athletic director at the middle school as well. And it's happening 2 ways. It doesn't cut your job in half. It allows the 2 of you to work really collaboratively over a larger portion of the student body. And so I think that one of the things when we talk about district systems, we see that happening in both sides. The behaviors, the academics, and how we are in the hallways, as well in the activities. And so I just think this is, these are the types of success metrics that we want to keep track of, because those are the ones that show how these investments pay dividends for students. So thanks for the effort that you're
And our
putting.
kids are leading everywhere they go. They show leadership. I mean, all the comments we get throughout playoffs were, what are you doing at St. Croix Central? Why do your kids act that way? Why do they cheer that way? Why do they model that way? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's a testament to our team and what we're doing to model for kids. Our staff members are modeling for kids. Our culture is modeling for kids. And they're taking that with them wherever they go. Doesn't matter where we go, on a bus, Merrill, state, they're all doing it, all of them, and it's tremendous to watch. Proud of it.
A quote I heard yesterday, kids don't always listen to us, but they imitate us.
Yes. That's very true.
Thank you, gentlemen. And we'll hope for continued success with the athletic programs and success in our academics. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Okay, that we will move on to our next item, which is our staff and community recognition. John?
Good
get your seatbelts, we've got a great list this month. To the New Richmond Farmers Union Co-op, thank you for your generous gift of $5,000 for Panther Pizza and $2,000 in scholarships for our future graduates. The gift will be used to give our students a unique experience and head start on their careers. Thank you to Megan Elmhorst. Thank you for coming to the middle school to help with our data walls, RTI, and reading interventions. Thank you to Shelby Hicks. Thank you for coming to the middle school to help also with the data walls, RTI, and helping us understand Ames data better. And they come across from the elementary school, right? So that's
Yes.
sharing skills and talents across the district. Congratulations to Trevor Wojda, recognition, and congratulating Trevor on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Also to George Fondriska IV, a recognition and congratulations on also achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Congratulations and recognition to Olivia Mall. Congratulations on finishing first overall at the sectional meet and 17th at the state contest. Your leadership and perseverance are a wonderful example to your team, school, and community. Congratulations. Recognition and congratulations to the girls cross-country team from the board. Congratulations on winning the sectional meet and placing 7th at state. Your perseverance and determination has led to fabulous outcomes. Recognition to the boys cross-country team. Congratulations on finishing 2nd at sectionals and qualifying for state competition. Your hard work is paying off. Congratulations to Tony DeSalvo, the football staff and team. Recognition. Congratulations on being the WIAA Division IV football state runners-up. Throughout the season, the entire football organization demonstrated character, perseverance, and great teamwork. Thank you for representing SCC and our communities extremely well. Recognition to the student fans. This will be sent to the high school for the, is it a Wednesday meeting?
Wednesday morning.
Recognition to the student fans. Your enthusiastic, energetic, and positive cheering at the volleyball matches and football games is awesome. You are representing yourselves, the school, and the community wonderfully. We love watching your creativity, such as catching the big fish, the roller coaster, the fan fall down, and many more. Way to have fun, cheer for your peers, and be classy all at the same time. Thank you to Katie Tate and Pete Fedig, middle school teachers. Thank you for playing taps at the middle school Veterans Day program. Sharing your talents to honor our vets is wonderful in its own right and extra special when our students see others lead by example. Thank you. A thank you to Michael Lefebvre, Jr. at the high school. Thank you for playing taps at the high school Veterans Day program. Sharing your talents to honor the vets is admirable. Your willingness to perform taps as a solo in front of all demonstrates leadership. Thank you for a job well done. A thank you to Brian Meyer at the elementary school. Thank you for taking a risk for children. Your continued dedication and hard work that puts you into the multi-age classroom have been very much appreciated. Also to Jackie Briggs, thank you for your continued efforts this year with the multi-age classroom. We appreciate your taking risks for the kids. Thank you, and I'm going to combine these, to Mike Nilsson, Jenny Schwartz, Mona Nelson, and Margaret Belling, all at the elementary school. Thank you for your continued dedication to children. Your collaboration with the co-teaching classroom is, to Jackie, Mike, and Jenny. Thank you for your continued efforts and dedication to children. Your collaboration within the co-teaching classroom is very much appreciated. And to Mona Nelson, we can't thank you enough for joining our team this year. Your hard work and daily smile are much appreciated. And to Margaret Belling, thank you for your dedication and hard work you've put into co-teaching. It's much appreciated. So, wonderful recognitions across the district. Congratulations and thank you from the board.
Thank you all. Congratulations. They're all well deserved. If we have any other comments, continue to add the names to the recognition and thank you list as see fit. And we'll continue to do these recognitions. So thank you all for the input. Okay, the next, item on the agenda is consideration of additional coaches for the 2017-18 spring season and the 18-19 fall sports season. So,
We can get one of these.
you should.
I'll start it, John.
Is it under that?
At least we got the placeholder.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me up here again, for listening to my voice again. I know we talked about this a couple board meetings ago. I had Coach Mike Nilsson and Coach Tom Savi here to speak on behalf of softball and baseball and their needs. I have on here on the exhibit the needs as expressed by the coaching staffs themselves, which I concur with completely as far as needs in track, softball, and baseball. The one coach that I'm gonna speak for specifically is the cross-country portion. And you can see the ratios on the backside under current realities. I didn't put this on there, but you heard the participation numbers for cross-country tonight at 1 to 37. So right now we have Bill Emery, who is the lone high school coach for 37 individuals. He coaches both the boys and girls team simultaneously. And in incidents where an athlete goes down, which has happened multiple times, if we're anywhere, he is the only one there. He drives the bus, he coaches the kids, he does it all. So my adding on here, that's my say for him in cross country and adding an additional coach for the fall season next year. So as the proposal lines out, it would be to add an additional coach this spring for track. And these are assistant coaches for track, for baseball, and softball, as well as for next year for cross country. So as you can see, the needs and why, just to recap again, track has 80+ athletes with 4 coaches, which is a 20 to 1 ratio, with obviously multiple events spanning a large area, with multiple events happening at the same time. So again, some liability things with that, having coaches in some of those multi-area things happening would be nice. And you can read the rest. These are all things we covered in the prior meeting. For softball, we have 3 coaches, 1 per level. And what we would like to do is add that 4th coach to make sure that there's 2 coaches at each game for varsity and JV. When we have C team, we would rotate or find an additional volunteer coach or somebody to stand in there, or rotate coaches. But that is a need for a player to be the first base coach at a JV level competition for softball or baseball is not ideal at all. So what we're looking at is trying to get that 4th coach to be in that position. And we don't wanna have 2 coaches at the JV and 1 coach at the varsity level, because that also is not conducive to anything. So that goes for baseball and softball. So on the back you see the current reality, so there's the ratios for each. And at the top in the highlighted color is the total cost if each additional coach was put into the new coach pay model, which each would fall under the $2,800 budget total in that box for that coaching pay scale. This does not include the cross-country position. I believe. Chance to do the quick math.
It does.
Okay, then
It'll
another.
be, yeah, 8,400 this year,
Okay.
2,800 next year.
So that is the proposal.
And then, Jason, are these ongoing positions then, so we're adding this to quote unquote the permanent coaching staff, or are these year by year based on participation? Cause I hear you talking about program needing 2 at each game,
Yep, so
I'm
this-
also hearing you talk about ratios.
This would alleviate both, so even if we were just running 2 levels, we would have 2 coaches at JV and varsity, cause they'll run simultaneously. Some are home, some are away, so like, When
Okay.
baseball plays Elk Mound, our JV goes to Elk Mound. We send one coach to Elk Mound, and our varsity plays here with 2 coaches. So again, and if they expand, or teams expand to 3 levels, then we adjust our coaching staff as needed with volunteers and.
So these are not year-over-year contracts,
These are permanent
you're
additions
adding
for-
it to your, coaching suite for
Correct.
managing our programs.
Correct, especially as they continue to grow and become more successful. Success breeds success, which
Yeah.
increases participation.
But we're voting on something that then adds 11,200 on an ongoing basis to our budget, it's not
Correct.
just
Which
a
would be
1 year.
Which would be a consistent variable you could count on each year.
And Jen, you're okay with those numbers in the budget?
Yes, we did add them into the budget.
Okay, and how does this fit with our strategic goals for our, staffing overall?
It's in there, it's part of the plan.
This would have been on a 3-year plan, so this would be something we could do right away. That would alleviate needs for this year and next.
Okay.
So as we're formulating that, I would have added this in there anyway. So,
Okay. Any other additional questions for, Jason? Or any of the other administrators, regards to this?
I would move that we, add the 4 additional coaches as, assistant coaches, for the total of 11,200, as presented by Jason.
Second.
Okay, motion John, second Jeff, to approve the $11,000 and the 4 additional coaching positions as recommended. Any, further questions as to the motion? Okay, any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
the other thing that I was gonna mention is to revisit, at some time, if not now, that second phase of the activities proposal. We were waiting on some of those positions, which we're filling, already, with kids that are engaged in those things, we haven't set or sent out contracts, so also people are working in those positions currently. So if we would be able to revisit that at some time, I think it's necessary for at least some of the positions, so.
Let's get on the future
Summer
agenda.
It's,
Okay,
it's all
December,
there, it's
So I
been
wanna make sure
discussed,
it stay on the radar.
we're just waiting on the budget.
okay.
Thank you.
So if we're ready, then, let's see if we can get a proposal ready for our December 11th meeting. Okay, is there anything else with regards to our, discussion of additional coaches? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to our next item, which is consideration of the first reading of a revised board policy 200.890 policy for selection of instructional materials for the St. Christ Central School Media Centers, creating a policy 361.2 library materials selection and 362.1 interlibrary loan. So,
So Pam and I are recommitting to revisiting these policies, and presenting them to you first and second readings each month. So we picked up where we left off in the 360s, and again, we're following the WASB model. So the reason, we decided to put it this way in the agenda is because the old policy was 200.890, and it combined basically 2, and WASB recommends splitting now out as 2 different, separate. So that's where we took selection of instructional materials for St. Christ Central Media Centers as 361.2, and then library material selection as 361.1 interlibrary loan. So that's why they're in 2. So again, for your reference, we have the old one and then the new one, which we presented to Amanda Olson for her revisions, suggested revisions, and that's in the form that you see here as the part of Exhibit 12A.
okay. Questions or comments? I don't know if everybody had a chance to compare the new with the old.
the new policy, addresses some of the, newer forms of, media, the electronics, computers, et cetera, whereas the old policy didn't address those. So,
Yeah, I actually think that it cleaned up the policy a lot and simplified it, and they took a lot of the categorical discussions out and made it in a better statement about universal selection of material. I also think that the, complaint process cleaned up, or the challenge materials process cleaned up, and is, just much more straightforward. I didn't see anything in the new draft that, I was concerned about, or we were trapping ourselves by one statement with opposing another statement, so I thought it looked really excellent. I did share it with, a couple of people, and I asked their opinion on it, and they just asked, is it in the best interest of the district to have the media specialist be the only person selecting the material? And I said, you know, knowing what I know, I think there's probably some level of collaboration, but it's the accountability of the media specialist, so I don't know if that's a true statement or not. But in this language, it does say, you know, we are vesting our power in the media specialist to make all media selection decisions.
I guess I'd read at least in the first part of the policy, that it was a collaboration between the library media specialists and others.
Yeah, it says with the cooperation of principals, teachers, students in accordance with the following policy. But it does say before that we do delegate the responsibility of the selection to the certified library media. So, I think that in that sense it is covered, but it doesn't, for example, have a selection committee. It just says in cooperation with, so. I think there's a vent there, and you wouldn't wanna be, I like policies that give room for administrative, execution, that, you know, we're giving guardrails, we're not painting the yellow line that they have to just walk on a single line. So, I'm okay with it, but.
Okay.
That was the only concern that I heard was,
Okay,
I think we're fine the way it's addressed.
okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, this will stand as the first reading. We will bring it back on the 11th for final approval. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, is with WASC State Convention on January 17th through 19th. And I guess you had, I guess there's some debate as to who's going to be the delegate yet. I know I was selected early on, but if I could pass that off, I would very much do that.
Yeah, so Pam and I just wanted to ask for clarification. I think back in the May meeting, I believe, when we do a lot of the reorganizational stuff, Howard was the official delegate, but Jeff's been on the
I have to be at the
resolution.
meeting now. I have to be at the meeting, so if you wanna skip out, I'm glad to do it.
And you have to be in the delegate assembly?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Is it an official,
I don't
does it need
have to,
official
but-
board approval, or?
I don't have to, but as part of the policy and resolution committee, we're kind of expected to be there, so I'll be there. One way or the other.
So
No sense two of us sitting.
I move that we replace, Howard as our SCC district delegate with Jeff Redmond.
I'll second that,
Okay, and then we'll need an alternate also.
with Howard being.
Howard being the
I
alternate.
can be the alternate as well.
Okay.
Howard absolutely hates the delegate assembly after 20 years of being it.
You must have been gone at the May meeting when we.
It's probably one of the most boring things.
He has more
I thought it delayed
than, he
it
has
come
more
on,
than
there was a
earned his
train
stripes
coming
in
the
that
other way.
delegate assembly, so I would be,
So John, you're going, so you
I
can be
am-
the alternate?
I'm okay with being the alternate, so
Alright.
I'll
There you
friendly amend if I can nominate myself, I
There
guess
you
I
go.
can. Move that Jeff is the delegate and John Hugh is the alternate.
Okay,
You
My
seconding
second
still?
remains.
Okay.
okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I would thank you for that.
Aye.
Okay,
Do we have
Motion
to
carries.
send that to somebody so that?
Pam will send it off to WASB.
They're
I already
validating
put
all
you
of them.
down, Howard, because they had to know right then and there, but I think it's just for the packet, so you'll get that at your
Okay,
home address. And you can
but we'll just shuffle that around,
Yeah,
so.
I'll try to call them and change it.
And then,
And you don't get to get the delegate stripey thing at the, for your name tag.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
so
I've
we
already got
got,
a pile of them that long hanging on the thing as it is.
John and Howard are, so Pam just asked for last call, so she can get everybody registered. So she asked last call, anyone else interested? Okay, and then,
Okay, we're staying at the DoubleTree again this year.
And you got the extra time.
and then you also want to know about,
I gave it to John and Jeff and Howard, luncheons or the workshops or anything like that, do you want?
I'm just going down for the, duration of the meeting, I'm not gonna be at on workshops or luncheons.
Jeff, any,
Good.
you're
I'm
good,
good not
Howard?
doing
I'm good.
You're good, okay.
If I change my mind, I'll let you know, but
Okay.
at this point, I don't plan on attending any of those. Okay, is there anything else we have to address on that? Okay, then moving on to the next item is our school board spring election, which is coming up on April 3rd. Apparently the candidates are myself, Kay, and Scott. I guess I would encourage my colleagues to run again. I don't think we can file the paperwork officially until after the 1st of December, correct?
You can do it now, it's the nomination papers if we did that, wouldn't be
Okay.
until after December 1st, but we don't do that, so you can turn them in now,
Okay,
great.
okay, so we can get those in. I think, the January meeting, we'll have to address the financial
Yes,
statements for everybody on the board to maintain an exemption.
I will have them ready.
Since those,
And we have to sign that annually now, right?
yes,
That's the interpretation.
It's just
That's-
amending it or,
yeah.
Yeah.
They changed the law in January 2016 on that. So, to maintain a campaign exemption from reporting, we have to sign a paper every year.
Certified.
It's good for 1 calendar year. So it has to happen after the 1st of January. It's good till the 31st.
Okay.
It's an idiotic rule, but
Someone's getting
state says
paid by
we
the
gotta do
paper.
it. So. Okay, are there any other questions with regards to spring election? Okay, then we have the important dates coming up. In December, we have no scheduled, board learning meeting. We have a wage and benefit committee meeting, 4:30 PM here at the district office on the 11th of December. Our regular board meeting for the month of December will be on December 11th here at 7 PM. On January 8th, we will have a board learning and special meeting here at 6:30 PM. On January 17th through the 19th is the WASB State Convention in Milwaukee. On January 22nd will be our SCC regular school board meeting at 7 PM here at the district office. Are there any other dates that we need to address at this time?
There are middle school concerts on December 11th. I don't know if that's impacting
just the choir, what was it?
choir and band both, I think, on the 11th.
The sixth graders, does David have a sixth grader?
youngest is in 8th grade.
Eighth grader, so I guess it doesn't really affect any of us,
Oh, okay.
unless you wanna go. Or unless one of the administrators has to go, but,
Okay,
okay.
okay, is there any other dates that we need to know about at this time?
We have the play coming up. The Elf,
Elf the musical.
coming up on the December second weekend, it's gonna be worth you seeing, for sure. A lot of kids, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
What days are those, Peter? Is it Friday and
That's,
Saturday or Thursday, Friday?
They're gonna, let me see here, I've got it on the calendar, but Ms. Schmidt just sent me she's gonna do a theme night that I'd like to throw out to everybody. Give me a quick second. I know, one of the nights is she wants to do a, senior citizen night. And then there's one night she wants to, Friday at 7:00, it's a staff night, all SCC staff get in free. Saturday at 7:00, it's picture night, starting at 6:15. Cast members will pose for pictures of any interested audience members. Hopefully fun for kids. And Sunday at 2 is senior day. Senior citizens will get in for half the price and bring mom, dad, and grandma. So, it's that first, second, and third.
Okay.
Like Mr. Lang just said, we have probably about 70 cast members and over 30 set crew of almost 40 set crews, so it's gonna be a great performance.
In the auditorium.
In the auditorium.
High school room, yep.
On the Thursday prior, they're gonna be doing, a practice run with the elementary in the morning and then for us in the afternoon.
Are you gonna talk about the special appearance?
No.
Oh, yeah, okay. Might just wanna check that one out.
Newhart? Newhart roll?
Something like that.
Fake Santa. No pillow needed.
Just hair.
Just here.
Okay. Then, those dates are noted. Okay, then the last item on the agenda is to convene in closed session per Wisconsin State Statute 1985-1C. Consideration of employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. This is a performance update on our new teachers. So, do I have a
Closed
motion?
session?
Second.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, let's take about a 5-minute recess and then we'll reconvene in closed session.
Pete, what time was this Sunday?